Okay, I think that's live. Hello, hello. Welcome to Turn15 channel for the Canadian Grand Prix round 9 of the 2024 F1 season. Looks like we're about to get things underway in about 5 or so minutes' time. It is wet as shit over there. It is wetter than a porn star's bath, which will actually make things a whole lot of interesting today. What looked like it was going to be just another Max Verstappen steamroller of a season, shelve that for a bit because we've got a whole lot of things going on right now. First of all, George Russell is on pole, which is pretty fucking amazing in itself. Great lap yesterday. Actually, the exact same time as Max Verstappen set because Russell set it first. He's on the pole. That's how the rules work. So good work, George. Great, great bounce back by Mercedes. Is it going to mean he'll win today? You know what? It is wide open. It is absolutely wide open today. The conditions are wide open, and it looks like there is actually a lot of competition for Max Verstappen for that first place winner's trophy. Anyway, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve today in Canada, as always, as it has been since the late 70s. Fantastic track. As I've got another little fan joining me. Hello, hello. Yes, we all know you're alive. So, George Russell, like I said, starts from pole today. Then we got Verstappen second, Norris and Piastri third and fourth, Ricciardo fifth. Amazingly, Ricciardo was fifth. That is a hell of a fucking lap for that lad. Then Alonso was sixth, Hamilton seventh, Tsunoda in eighth. A rare time that he's getting out qualified by Ricciardo this year. Stroll in ninth, Albon 10th for Williams. Amazing lap. Really, really good stuff. Then you got Leclerc and Sainz in 11th and 12th. Amazing. That is a complete dog shit qualifying out of Ferrari. They totally fucking missed it. Absolutely missed it, which means it will be very, very interesting to watch Leclerc and Sainz to see what they can do from 11th and 12th today. Where can they feature? Will they be on the podium? It's unlikely, but a day like today, it's very wet already. It looks like it'll be drying up. Hello. It looks like it'll be drying up as the race goes, but it will start very wet, which will make the first few laps very interesting. Sargent 13th, which is actually a pretty decent showing out of Logan. A lot higher up the grid than we're used to seeing him start. Then K-Mag at 14th, Gasly 15th, Checo 16th. 16th position for Checo, who has just had his contract renewed at Red Bull. He will be staying there for at least the next 2 seasons. I mean, I'm a Checo fan, and even I'm saying, I don't know about that. So, whatever, this is something that Red Bull want. It's something that I guess Max Verstappen is comfortable with. It's a little bit of the Bottas and Hamilton situation, I think, where you've got a guy who is, well, Max is very comfortable leading that team. And I'll be honest, after Gasly and Albon were basically disasters in that seat, you could do worse than Checo. You really, really could. Although he couldn't do much worse than 16th from where he is right now. But yeah, no, that's a hard seat to compete in, and I think they're comfortable with Checo being down there. So I don't know. Maybe Red Bull want a proper title fight for the constructors' championship. Maybe they want it every year through 2026. Either way. Hulkenberg starts 17th, Ocon 18th, having a grid penalty from his ridiculous dimwit fucking decision in Monaco to race Gasly as hard as he can on what was ultimately a red flagged lap one and taking himself out. So good work, Esteban. Esteban, who in the week has, it's been announced he's leaving Alpine for next year. I mean, he was only contracted through the end of this year. They're not keeping him for next year onwards. It's kind of, I think, if Sainz ends up at Audi, maybe Ocon goes to Williams, or vice versa. If Sainz goes to Williams, maybe Ocon ends up at Audi. But apart from that, I'm not really hearing him turning up anywhere. I'm hearing some people saying that he might end up at Haas, but there's not a lot of great opportunities left for the poor cunt, to be honest. Quality seats, pardon me, are a rare commodity in F1 right now. A lot of the seats are taken, and then of course we got Bottas and Joe starting 19th and 20th because they are starting in the pit lane. Pit lane start as the clock ticks 3 just now. and they're getting off on the formation lap. So it looks like everybody's on the inters except for K-Mag and Hulkenberg. The Haas cars are both on full wets. That's a very wet track as well. And it looks like it is still raining. You can see droplets on those puddles in turn 2. Very, very wet there. When's the last time we had a race this wet in Montreal? At least to start with, maybe 2011? It's been a long time. A lot of people like to bang on about how that was the longest Grand Prix ever. And it's true that it did end 4 hours and 4 minutes after it started, but it's a bit like saying The Lion King is the longest movie ever watched, because you paused it for 2.5 hours to take a shit and a nap. It's not quite the most honest thing anyway, as they're going around on the formation lap. Anything else has happened? Oh, Tsunoda announced that he is staying at Cash App RB for next year, so that's Tsunoda's immediate future done. Look at the water coming off that McLaren pit box. Good grief. Very wet. Very, very wet there. As Bottas said, nice weather for a duck. I mean, it has rained in Montreal over the last few years, but not for the start of the race. Not that I can remember, at least. I'm pretty bloody sure it hasn't. Past winners. 2019 Hamilton. You know, it really stuck in my craw that Hamilton won that race over Vettel that day. Of course, 5 years on, I'm not sure I really give a shit. Cell of rain coming, should last for around 10 to 15 minutes. That's the radio message to Ricardo there. And because it's fucking 4 in the AM, I think I need a bit of a visual help. At least to start this race with. Christian Horner there. The Cunny Badger. You know, I'm not sure what Daniel Ricciardo is going to do next year if Red Bull is going to keep Liam Lawson. Because if they don't put him in that seat, and it's the only seat that they've got is Ricciardo's, if they don't put him in that seat, then they effectively are throwing him out. They can say, you can go anywhere you want. But, I mean, they gave Nick DeVries a seat over Liam Lawson last year. They're not that keen, it seems, on putting him in a seat at all. So, not that sure about Kiwi Liam's immediate F1 future, to be honest. Doesn't look that good, to be... Especially if Ricciardo keeps this form up, if he actually gets something out of him today... It might just be enough to get a renewal. I don't know why he's at that seat, though, because he's not a young talent. For sure. Anyway, 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Out. Decent start out of Russell. Decent start out of Verstappen. Norris looks like he's got a good start as well. So the top 3, the top 4 are very close together. Very, very gingerly. Very much as you were. Looks like... Is that... Aston Martin coming up on the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. It's pretty tight at the back there as well. I saw Checo right in the middle of a lot of action there. Oh, Ricciardo's rear end is really stepping out there. Somebody must have gone around at turn. At turn 2 there. God, just look at all that spray around. Goodness me. So there was a brief yellow flag there, which must have been for some silly buggery at turn 2, but it all looks pretty okay right now. Apparently Checo's got damage. Just heard radio... Apparently Checo might actually have some damage on his car. So I did say that it looked like a very tight squeeze where he was at the back. I know, it's very exciting, isn't it? So to be honest, it's not quite the major chaos that I was thinking maybe we might get. K-Max had a hell of a start. My goodness, he's up to 9th already. Oh, that looks like Carlos Sainz fucking that corner up completely. No, that's not Science. That must be Leclerc. Science is way further back. He's in 14th. Ugh. Bad start for Carlos. K-Mag up to 7th. Jesus. That's a hell of a start out of Kevin Magnussen. So Science has now dropped behind both the Williams cars. Fuck. Ugh. Not great. Either way, running lap 2, Russell Verstappen, Norris Piastri, Alonso Hamilton. That's your top 6. Then K-Mag, Ricciardo, Stroll, and Leclerc. So it looks like both the RBs have gone a little bit backwards here. Is that K-Mag getting by the Mercedes? It is. Fucking hell, he is absolutely driving for his career today. So shit, and look at that. K-Mag at 6, Hulkenberg 11th. I'd say that those wet tyres are absolutely working here. Oh, on board with K-Mag here. Looks like a pretty tight squeeze, but he's through. He's through an Alonso into 5th into the final chicane. That's incredible. Dear God, look at this. A Haas is absolutely wheeling it. I think everyone who started on Inters is. Looks like they missed a trick here. Now K-Mag is 8 seconds off the lead. Kevin Winkelhock. I mean, he's not in the lead yet, but he's not far off it, is he? This is absolutely incredible. What do you call him? Ayrton Kenner. So you can see already there's like a little bit of a dry line going, but not a whole lot so far. K-Mag is right on the back of Piastri. Look at him catching up. This is incredible. He's caught about 3 seconds on George Russell in the first 2 sectors now. Oh, K-Mag's absolutely going to get him too. Look at Hulkenberg coming up as well. So Hulkenberg up to 8th now. Haas have absolutely nailed this. And look at that, K-Mag up to 4th already. 10 places. 10 fucking places in 3 laps. This is like video game stuff. That's all the wet tyres. You know, it's a gamble. It's always a gamble when you go full wets instead of inters, because the full wets don't always work, but they're certainly working today. I mean, this is a whole lot of standing water on the track. I mean, God bless F1 as well. I was thinking that they might even Gasly Perez turn 2 collision, no further investigation. Well, that's what that was about. So Perez and Gasly are also 17th and 18th now. Ooh. I really did think F1 might just delay the start because they have become completely allergic to water, like they've got rabies. But in the last few years, but thankfully we're actually racing here, and it looks like it's okay. It's like a Melbourne day. Look at that, a bright blue sky and just absolutely soaking wet and pissing down. So K-Mag. Uh-oh, Leclerc, something strange on the engine side. So says Ferrari, this isn't good. Shit, that's really not good for Leclerc, who is 11th still, by the way. Science 14, so it looks like everybody else is kind of just maintaining position except for the Haas's, who are just cutting through the track, cutting up the field. So Nico Hulkenberg looking right up the arsehole of Lewis Hamilton here. You know, what I just mentioned before, Ocon may be trying to get a Haas seat. Okay. So Ferrari is saying that there is some kind of an engine issue, but they're telling Leclerc to just keep pushing. Sargent's dropping down the order here. And he's not in the pits either, so what's going on here? No, he's just missed the timing line. He's gone straight back up. Okay, so he must have gone wide at one of these corners. It's one of those little wigging out moments where it looks like somebody's had a spin or something like that, and really nothing's happened. Nothing all that interesting. So K-Mag fastest lap, as you'd expect. Goodness, it looks like Audi might have even gotten the wrong guy. And he's going to be past Norris soon at this rate. So Verstappen now with the fastest lap. But what's K-Mag doing? Now, these wet tyres are great, but they do, they're Pirelli tyres. And don't ever forget that. So they might be fantastic for a little bit, but then they might really start to fall off now. K-Mag's, about 2.5 seconds now? No, he's dropping... Yeah, about 2 seconds behind Norris. People on Inters now going faster than people on extreme wets. That's Leclerc radio. So yeah, there it is. The wets will last for a little bit, but once they start going, and you can see a bit, that's Lewis Hamilton going just a little bit wide. The Haas cars are going to have to start getting adventurous with their corners now. They're going to have to start trying to find some water on the track because those tires will be overheating on a dry lane, and they just won't be working that well. Yellow flag, sector 2. Now, who's this for? Albon? No, it's Sargent. I get the feeling we won't be seeing Sargent that much longer. I think if he lasts the entire season, I think that might be the end of him, to be honest. Williams are trying to get Sainz. They're trying to, they're openly trying to get Sainz now. So I'd say Logan Sargent's days in Formula One are very, very numbered. Oh, looks like the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso has gone right off at the chicane. Hamilton's going to get him here. Side by side. Over the finish line. Nope. Just can't quite get it done into turn 1. Lewis is going to go way off here. Lewis totally missed turn 2. Completely missed it. So he's going to have to let Alonso by here. Oh, Alonso slightly offline, just trying to get past Hamilton and almost puts it into the wall. So it is still very treacherous offline. Now, this whole track has been resurfaced, so it's a little bit unpredictable what it's going to be doing in terms of drying and things like that, but it looks like a nice sunny day now, actually, in Montreal. Oh, look, like, how much am I doing? How much am I losing down the streets? Quite a bit to keep pushing. So Ferrari is telling Leclerc that he's losing half a second down the straight. So, he's 11th. If the track dries, if there's no more rain, and the pace is only going to get faster and faster, then I don't think Leclerc is going to finish this race. This is something that you might be able to get away with. You might be able to mitigate it if it's still wet. Oh, look, Kevin Magnussen's in the pits. So he's getting off. He's going to go on Inters. And it looks like a real messy pit stop as well. Jesus fucking Christ, guys. Get it together. That must have been a very, very late call. 8.6 seconds. Jeez. Truly a Marcus Winkelhock of fucking pit stops there. So K-Mag was great, was in 4th, is now in 12th, and on Inters, which means he's on the same strategy now as everybody else. He's still going to have to pit for dries. I'm not sure that was really I mean, it depends how quickly the track's going to dry, but you might want to just run this shit until it dries, and then you won't have to make an extra pit stop because that's completely fucked Kevin Magnussen's entire race. Now, replay the start here. I'm looking at Checo. What happens here? In turn two, looks like just a bit of a squeeze. Three wide through turn two. Oh, that is quite. Yeah, that's a lot of contact between K Mag, not K Mag, Checo and Gasly rather. A whole lot of contact. So Checo's almost turned him right around here. So Checo, oh, it's a really tight squeeze there. I just, yeah, Kevin uh, tell you what, if we have a Nürburgring 99 race on our hands today, we're in for some fucking fun. Yeah, that's replay Logan Sargent missing the timing line. That's when he started falling down the order there. Oh, what is this? On board. So this will be Sargent going off at turn six. And yep, just aquaplanes, or it looks like just not aquaplaning as in water underneath the car itself, but it looks like he just went out on the wet and the tire just didn't want to fucking grip anymore. It's just sent him straight off. And you know what? We're running lap 9, and every car, Ricardo incident, false start noted. Fucking hell, Ricky, what are you doing, buddy? So, at this point, you may as well just chuck Liam Lawson in that fucking seat. Ah, god damn it. If that's legit, and it usually is a slam dunk when that sort of shit happens, um, impossible to overtake with this issue, says Leclerc. Yeah. I think Leclerc's day is going to get a whole lot harder the drier that this thing gets. Yeah, look, there's you can see on board with Verstappen, there's quite a dry line forming now. So working lap 10 of 70, we're 1/7 the way through this race already. Amazing. Russell, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Alonso, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Ricky, Stroll, Leclerc in 10th. Doesn't look like Leclerc's going to last all that much longer. We'll see if the engine keeps up. It could deteriorate. It could just be running exactly as it is for the rest of the race. But he's got Sonoda right behind him, Albon in 12th as well, and then Sainz in 13th. I'm not that I'm not thinking Leclerc's going to score any points today, to be honest, unless that engine issue gets resolved. And I'm not sure how the fuck they're going to resolve it. Maybe sending enough thoughts and prayers will get it done, but I I don't think Leclerc's going to end up scoring any points today. I really don't think so. It's a pretty static running order right now. I think there's so much water offline, you can't really make a move to overtake. Everyone's just kind of waiting for the track to dry out a bit more, waiting to put the dry tires on. Which, I mean, it's a pretty dry line, but you wouldn't want to you wouldn't want to be putting slicks on right now. It's still really, it's still wet enough online, but it's still really wet offline. So Ricardo, false start under investigation. So one step up from noted. Oh, Ricardo. It's just non-stop pain for Ricky fans for the last few years, isn't it? Meanwhile, Leclerc is 10th, Sainz is 13th, Ferrari aren't doing a fucking thing so far. You can just see everyone's just kind of trapped in this. Oh, here we go. Maybe a little look, Ricardo and Hulkenberg. Now, Hulkenberg is going several seconds a lap slower as a Williams gets slightly out of line, having a look at Sonoda. Who's that? Albon. So they reckon there's more rain coming in about 15 laps or so. Hulkenberg is going to start dropping right down now. Ricardo, that's a decent pass on Hulkenberg into the last chicane. Looks like everybody else is going to follow suit when they can, but you know, it's so wet offline, it's going to be very adventurous trying to make a pass anywhere, probably, except for the final chicane. Oh, look at Hulk go a little bit wide at turn two. I mean, you think Monaco is a narrow track. This looks like a very, very narrow racing line. Stroll up to 8th, Hulkenberg down to 9th. What is that, Ricardo 5-second penalty? Well, that could have been worse. I was thinking they might even drive through or a stop go for him. Remember the points back in the day? The penalties back in the day used to be way harsher. Like anything happened, 10-second stop go penalty. Fucking fart in the car and get a 10-second stop go penalty. It was incredible. Now, who was it? I think it was 2019 France. I can't remember who it was, but I remember somebody getting a 5-second penalty for turning someone else around and just totally fucking their race up. I say 19. Maybe I'm just thinking of Ricardo passing offline at the end of the race. Hello, do you want to come up here? No? Just confirmation of Ricardo's penalty on the screen there. Fucking cats, I swear to God. They don't want to do... Like, they want to do what they want to do, but not if you invite them, then suddenly they don't want to do it. What do we think the F1 equivalent of a cat is? Because I think maybe Flavia Briatore, in that it's sort of predictable, but it's also a complete fucking lunatic. You can never quite tell what it's going to do next. Flavia Briatore, who I have heard mentioned, maybe will be getting reinstalled as the head of Alpine, the head of Enstone. Not sure. Oh, on board with Lewis, still tucked up right behind Fernando Alonso. So they're having a pretty decent battle today. It's a shame these guys weren't doing this more for the lead in their careers over the last 10 or so years. I mean, Lewis has spent the last 10 or so years basically non-stop in the lead. Except since 2022, but amazing competitors, these two. Fantastic stuff. Russell, I think it will probably be slicks in 20 minutes. That's exactly when the rain is expected to hit. Now, how much grip are those inters going to have in 20 minutes' time is the thing. Because if the rain comes and it's heavy enough, I don't know about that. You might have a whole lot of... remember, what was it, 2020, I think, in Turkey, when Hamilton ran those inters basically into slicks, like half and half. I'm not sure that would survive more rain. I think you'd want proper brand new inters on there. Hamilton's just dropped a further second back behind Alonso, maybe trying to cool his tyres off. Maybe he's gone off where we haven't seen it, who knows. Weather alert, rain in 18 minutes. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. It looks like wonderful weather right now, but yeah, we'll see. Verstappen's going offline there. I think he's just trying to find water to cool his tyres. Norris fastest lap. So there's a lot of grip coming to the track now. I mean, this is like the delicate balance. You don't want to take a pit stop. Like, look at K-Mag. You don't want to take a pit stop that you really, really don't have to take. Hulkenberg as well. Like those Haas's, bless him, amazing start. It was a good strategy until it turned into a shit strategy. That's basically what happened with Haas. It was fantastic for the first 7 or 8 laps. Everything after that, fucking disaster. Um, that would have worked if the track dried quick enough that you wouldn't have to stop for inters. You would just go straight to slicks, but it just hasn't done that. Um, Either that, or if there was a red flag, say 6 or 7 laps into the race, Haas would have looked like fucking geniuses. But not today. Not today. So Verstappen again going offline, just trying to cool the tyres down. When those things, when those Pirellis, those wet Pirellis run on dry tarmac, they just shred. Like they blister, they overheat, and then once they get out of that overheat, out of that heat window rather, it's really hard to bring them back. That's the one thing the Pirellis had consistently during their tenure in F1. Um, they have a very narrow operating window there where the rubber will actually work and it will do what you want it to do. That's why so many of these races over the last 10 or so years have been complete fucking bollocks, because it's so hard to keep these tires in that tiny little operating window. You push it just a little bit too much and they fall right off and you lose all grip. And then you have to spend an age and a day trying to bring them back down to a regular temperature. You can't get them too cold, you can't get them too hot. They've got a tiny little window in the middle and you just basically have to keep them there. It's rubbish. It's total fucking rubbish, and I don't know how these guys do it. 13 minutes till the rain. That we'll see. We'll see how these inters hold up. Not sure about that, to be honest. You can see the Verstappen, especially, looks like he's sliding around a lot. Um, who was it? Oh, there he is at turn 1 and 2. He's running very wide, and he looks like he's just gone over some of the debris left by the Alpine from lap one. If I seem low energy, by the way, it is 4:30 in the morning over here. I feel like this is a little bit of a Lance Stroll style stream where, oh yeah, he's just gone straight off there. Just too much speed through turn one for Max Verstappen. It feels a little bit Lance Stroll esque. These really late or really early morning streams where even when amazing, exciting things are happening, and well, do they ever happen in this sport? Sometimes. Just no matter what's happening, he's just flat. And God bless Lance for being like that as well. Um, I know he cops a lot of shit for that because he's quite monotone, but I mean, you know, as somebody who's very monotone as well, like I totally understand that. So there we go. We got to lap 17 before the dialogue today just completely fell apart into complete bollocks. So Verstappen now 2.7 seconds behind George Russell. Russell's actually doing a good job today, isn't he? He kept the lead from the start and he's just absolutely held on to it. Piastri fastest lap now. He was my call last week. I said I could feel it. I could feel it in my balls. This Piastri winning, manifesting from one testicle to another and filling it up with a certain certainty. I mean, here he is about 10 seconds off the lead and I look like a right twit, but Piastri was my way too early to call pick for winning today, and you never know. You never know. It's been just over 10 years to the day since Ricciardo had his unlikely and amazing win at this circuit in his Red Bull. Fuck, what a race that was as well. Couldn't believe it. one of the all-time classics that day. They had a Checo wreck as well at turn 1. Look at Norris and Verstappen, both of them trying to, I think, just trying to find any sort of moisture to put under those tyres. Oh, look at Norris rear stepping out the edge of right next to the wall of champions. Fastest lap lander, Norris. So this is, I mean, it's interesting, and now Piastri fastest lap. It's interesting seeing just how consistent McLaren are keeping this fight with Max Verstappen. Weather alert, rain in 9 minutes. Well, we'll see. I've fallen for these things before. I don't really fall for them anymore. I'll believe when there's rain falling on the circuit. That's when I'll believe it. It looks very, very dry along the back, doesn't it? Very dry. So we'll see what kind of condition these inters are in by the time the rain falls. It might even be worth pitting. As soon as the rain starts again, it might be worth pitting for probably not. I mean, not unless it's got to dump an ocean on you. Might be worth getting some new winters on. Because I'm not sure these things can have all that much grip left on them. It's interesting seeing McLaren consistently taking the fight to Red Bull here. Like, they really have unlocked something with their car, and I think the rest of the season is going to be very, very close. I don't think it'll be enough to really worry Verstappen winning his championship. I think that's basically a lock. Something crazy is going to happen, I think, for Verstappen to miss his championship. He's already got 5 wins this year, but it will be very interesting. It'll be very interesting through the rest of the year, just race on race to see who's going to win it, because it's all over the place right now. And hand on heart, I didn't think that we'd be having a season like this. I thought it would be basically like last season. That said, even with a decent amount of competition coming from behind, I'd still put money on Max to win most of the races for the rest of the year. Norris really hits the apex in the center of his car, must be smashing his lower back to bits, probably smashing his floor to bits as well. Actually, that's one of the strengths that this McLaren has over the Red Bull, and you can see Verstappen's keeping off the curbs a lot. Now, a little bit of that, I think, is caution because it's so wet, but also that Red Bull just doesn't perform that well. Norris is getting very, very close to Verstappen in the hairpin. That might even have been a tiny little kiss on the back there. Oh, DRS is open. Norris is going to go for it. He's got him. Can he keep it through the chicane? Yes, he can. Norris second. Bad news for Russell because Norris is very quick here. Oh, here we fucking go. Alright, battle of the Brits. First and second. Norris just over a second behind Russell now. So fuck, man. Norris is going for it. Yeah, that McLaren does behave well over the bumps. It behaves well over the bumps and it behaves well over the curbs. So a lot of bumps. Oh, not so many bumps here now that they've resurfaced it, but still big curbs. Old school style curbs, and you can see that McLaren just absolutely just claiming the track compared to all of its rivals. Just look at it go. That's Albon as well as gotten by Charles Leclerc. So I'd say Leclerc's engine is starting to really grief him. Oh, Norris is very, very close again to Russell in the hairpin. Just like a lap ago, and he's got a good exit too. I think this could be it. Tsunoda and Albon incident noted. I guess we'll come back to that when we get a replay. Look at Norris go. DRS is open. He's in the lead. Lando Norris is getting the lead. Oh, Russell's fucked up the chicane too. Russell could end up back in third here. In fact, he's totally going to. Verstappen's already by him. Ah, George, buddy, you totally fucked that up, mate. So Max Verstappen second, Norris first, Russell third. Shit, you know, maybe the feeling in my balls that I could feel was just a McLaren win. Gasly passed Perez further down the field there. I mean, it was a pretty. Oh, yeah. Looks like it's about the easiest pass that Verstappen will make all day. Oh, just a little bit of a crisscross as Russell comes back onto the track, but I think Russell needs to find dry track, and there's a very narrow dry line there. Just a replay of Alex Albon getting by Leclerc in the back straight. So again, I think Leclerc's engine, if it's going to keep up the ghost, I think it might just end up sending him backwards a bit. Um, so Norris fastest lap, 4 seconds now ahead of Verstappen. Fuck, here we go. So Norris ain't fucking around. Verstappen Russell incident, rejoining unsafely noted. Oh, fuck off. Jesus Christ. Nah, not from what I saw. Not from that replay. That is fucking retarded. I'm sorry that if they penalize Russell for that re-entry, then that is fucking flat out stupid as shit. Like, that is shoving crayons up your nose retarded. Alonso Hamilton really close here. Rain in 3 minutes, so says the weather alert. And you know what? It is getting a little bit dark out there. Russell time deleted. Yeah, that's when he went off. At the chicane, I don't think that really matters. So Hamilton DRS up. I think he's a little bit further back. I don't think he'll be able to do anything on Alonso this lap. He'll catch a ride up to him. As long as Alonso gets a decent exit. Oh, and Hamilton sideways out of the chicane, right next to the wall of champions. God, Hamilton's really sliding that Mercedes around. 5.8 seconds now, Norris over Verstappen. Ooh. You can see there's a lot of rain. There's a lot of rain in the area. But how much of that is going to hit the track? Now, Piastri, less than a second behind George Russell. So Russell, just like last year, his Canadian Grand Prix is starting to fall apart rapidly. God, yeah, look at that Mercedes. It's really struggling for grip now. 6.8 seconds, Norris over Verstappen. This is just like Miami all over again. I think Norris could probably just manage it from here. I think Norris has already got a little bit of traffic between him and Verstappen as well. Did I just see a Sauber? It must have been a Sauber and a Williams between Norris and Verstappen now, so a little bit of extra rear gunnery, at least for now. So Hamilton's still chasing Fernando Alonso. I think they probably just keep this up, maybe until the rain hits again, and then see what happens after that. Yellow flag, sector 1. Oh, that's a Williams. That's Sargent in the wall. Oh, he's done a Montoya there. That car's going nowhere as well. That's quite the hit. So that'll be a safety car. That will bunch the entire field up, and we'll see if they can get this thing cleared up. It's going to have to be a safety car. I think a safety car, and then the whole field's going to compress, and then the rain looks like it'll come during a safety car. Piastri having another look at Russell. God, Russell's car is just not going quick anymore. Safety car, there we go. Now, Norris could potentially take a pit stop here, get new inters. But it doesn't look like he's going to do that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think Norris should have come in the pits. It would have been great for him. He could have gotten some brand new inters, and now you look, you see Verstappen, Russell, and Piastri are all in the pits. Ah, wow. I don't know. I think maybe they should. Oh, looks like that's going to be a very close re-entry. Verstappen very, very close, kind of crowding out Russell there. I think he should get away with that. Alonso and Hamilton in the pits as well. I get the feeling everybody's going to come through the pits here. It'll be just Norris who's missed the boat. Oh, I don't know about that, Lando. I really don't. That car's still there as well. So Hamilton, meanwhile, has jumped Alonso in the pits. As I was looking at the timing screen, trying to figure out who is where. Oh, looks like, yeah. Okay, so replay a Sargent, then he's just dropped it on the curb, spun it around, clipped the wall, yeah. Smashed the rear wheel, the rear left wheel, and smashed the rear wing against turn 4. Against the Lenovo signs. I don't think Lenovo still sponsor Williams, but they used to back in the day. Bit of a rich irony about that. So Norris is pitting now. I think... Oh, it's going to be touch and go. I think Norris might just be able to get this stop done and still get out ahead. Oh, I think Norris might just get away with this. It's going to be very close. Verstappen's got him. No, Verstappen's got him. It looks like Verstappen, Russell, and Piastri. Oh, no, not Piastri. It's Verstappen and Russell have jumped Norris. So it's Verstappen, Russell, Norris, Piastri, then Hamilton, then Alonso. So a little bit of a shuffle of the top 6 here. Then Ricciardo, Tsunoda in 8th, good stuff. Then Stroll and Ocon. Ocon hasn't stopped then. Tsunoda... So Ricciardo and Tsunoda have not stopped. Ocon has not stopped. Bottas has not stopped. Everybody else has come through then. No, Ricciardo's stopping now. I don't know why the fuck they waited this long to get him in. And he's also got that penalty as well for the bung start. So where's that going to put him? I think Stroll might get him there. Oh, yeah. And we're not watching it, we're just watching Norris go behind the safety car. It's a strange pit exit as well. But no, it looks like Ricciardo has fed out behind Ocon then in 10th. So Tsunoda, Ocon have not stopped. Stroll has. So Stroll is going to end up, you'd assume, jumping up to 7th. I don't know why they would keep Tsunoda and Ocon. You have to throw the Hail Mary. Like that Alpine fucking sucks. So you may as well throw a Hail Mary and see what it'll get you. Same with the Sauber of Bottas. That car sucks. Throw a Hail Mary, see what happens. But Tsunoda, I don't know. I think they probably should have pitted him. Ah, goodness me. It's nothing quite like coffee at arsehole o'clock. So they finally got a crane over to that Williams. So I'd say probably another lap or so behind the safety car. I think there's a... Who is a lap down? I don't think anybody's a lap down anymore. I think that pit stop sort of shuffled everybody back to whereabouts they should be. Yeah, I'm looking here. I'm not seeing any cars that are a lap behind. So there won't be any more dicking around trying to get cars off. I'm not sure about that whole like letting them back on the lead lap as well. That's a very like that's a NASCAR rule. Like that's a lucky dog rule. Which was only supposed to be for the first car that's a lap down. It gets a lap back. I'm not sure about doing it the whole thing. Like I know why they want to get cars out of the way, out of that queue. I remember back in the day, there'd be a lot of complaints after the safety car restarts a race and you get like first place and then a couple of lap cars, then second place and maybe another couple of lap cars, then third place. And some brainiac back then was saying, why don't we just move these cars out of the way? And then you don't have this shit in between first, second, and third. They could just, start racing and start fighting again. So they switched it, and then yada yada yada, Abu Dhabi 2021. Safety car is ending this lap, so yep, it was just the one final lap, so Leclerc's in the pit lane now. And who was it as well? I saw on the grid, I think it was Ocon in an Alpine, had his, Leclerc's retiring. That'll be it. Yeah, mechanics are all standing around, lost. Leclerc, visor up, just staring at his wheel. Here we go, radio. What? He's going again. Okay, so I think Leclerc's stopped to try to do a little bit of the control delete. He's had to open the task manager. Charles Leclerc, the brainlet, God bless him, he's left Minecraft running in the background. No wonder the RAM's all full. Look at those clouds coming. God, it just was like a wave in the sky coming over. Oh. It does look very dark. So the rain hasn't really hit the track yet, but it does look very dark. I'm starting to see a couple of droplets on the camera. Now, the good thing is everybody, I mean, in a way it kind of sucks because everybody's gotten the pit stop now. So they all have new winters. So that bit of jeopardy, I think, is gone. Yellow flag in Sector 3. So I guess this is just for a little bit of just some restart buggery now. Verstappen leading them through the final chicane, and here we go. Back to green on BMW F1 engine. Bang. I forgot just how often a BMW would completely fucking grenade itself back in the day. Like, just watching old races and old, like, highlights and reviews and things like that, like, fuck me dead. Those BMW engines would just fucking blow up. And even a hint of an over-rev. It was incredible. Oh, thank God. So no, stewards aren't doing anything about Russell's rejoining at the chicane. Thank goodness for that. 5 years too late for Seb. Although that was a hell of a tantrum he threw that day. My God, that was an old-timer. That was fantastic to see. Well, I'm not sure about putting Leclerc out on the hard tyres right now, but fuck me dead. I mean, you talk about throwing a Hail Mary. He's dead last. He is so far behind the field because he stopped so late as the safety car was ending, but if he has to stop again for wets, fucking forget about it. Like, he may as well just park that car. Um, I know Button won from last place at around this time, but he also had a little bit more DNFs to help him out through the field there. Gonna come back? Come on. There you go. You're right in time. The rain's coming. You can see it now falling over the river. You can start to see a little bit of rooster tails. Yeah, here we go. Yep, pissing down again. Oh, that's going to be very, very interesting now. So here's a replay. What is this? Alex Albon looks like on Daniel Ricciardo. And on Ocon. He gets past both of them. Amazing. That's a baller move right there. Well done, Alex. Look at this. It's a work of art. Around the outside and then around the inside for the second overtake into the chicane. Absolute work of art. That is fucking fantastic. That is a phenomenal pass out of Alex Albon. That is just brilliant. It's a narrow part of the track. It's just started raining again, and Max almost took out a groundhog into the final chicane. Oh, try harder, buddy. Grosjean's got you totally beat there, mate. And here's Leclerc in the pits again. You may as well just fucking give up, honestly. Oh, cut back to Science, who's running deep, deep into the hairpin. What the what is that? That's Carlos Sainz and he's lost part of his fucking wing. Jesus Christ, here we go. Now, Gasly's got to hope that he's not got a puncture out of this. It's just the end plate that's come off Science's car. Looks like a Haas has gone right on at the chicane as well. Fucking hell, it's all going off. I mean, Leclerc is now a lap down. Oh, no, he isn't. I tell a lie. He's about to go a lap down, though. Carlos Sainz is 13th. From winning Monaco last week, this is a hell of a fucking downturn. God, this is it's a poor effort out of Ferrari today. A really fucking poor effort. It started going wrong yesterday, and it just hasn't come right at all. Oh, that's really close. So that Sainz almost going right up the back of that Sauber. Oh. Yeah, so that's where he's picked up a little bit of the contact. So it wasn't contact with Gasly, it was contact with Bottas into the hairpin. I mean, Sainz is still keeping up even with that damaged wing. Meanwhile, we're almost halfway through this race. Can you fucking believe that? I mean, it's been about an hour, but it's been a very interesting race so far. And as we're almost halfway through the race, let's take quick stock of it. Verstappen, Russell, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, Alonso, Tsunoda, Stroll, Albon, and Ocon is your top 10. Ocon and Tsunoda looks like their old their old inters rather, are still working. Bottas, he looks a little bit slow, but he's keeping up. He's doing fine. He's keeping that Ferrari behind him. Oh, quick hands by Lance Stroll there. God, look at Stroll just absolutely hammering the turn 9, turn 10 curbs. Actually, Aston Martin's looked pretty good this weekend. I think this is probably as much speed as that car has in it. So the drivers are doing pretty well today. I'm not sure they could really get much more out of it. Ooh, no. Stroll's just gone on at the chicane. Looks like somebody else has gone off with him as well. Who would that have been? Albon? Or Ocon? Didn't see that. That was right at the back. Science Bottas Ricardo incident, turn 10, collision noted. Okay, whatever, stewards. Is it me or is the TV direction being complete shit today? Like, we've just cut away from this fucking stuff going on at the chicane to ride on board with Piastri, who's just staring down Norris's ass like he's a girl at the bar. Like, calm the fuck on, guys. Like, there's action going. Let's fucking keep our eyes on it, shall we? You know, I tell you, it wasn't even Stroll. It was fucking Alonso that's got off at the chicane. I thought it was Stroll though. I don't know. It's early, man. What can I say? It's really fucking early in the morning here. And Aston Martin went off. There we go. Done. All right. So apparently no more rain for the end of the race, so it's got to turn into, once again, how quickly does this thing dry out, and who is going to be brave enough to put on the slicks. Now, it's lap 36 of 70. We've got 34 laps to go after this one. I'm seeing, again, a little bit of blue sky. Actually, quite a bit of blue sky over there. Now, it depends which direction this storm's just come from, but I'm seeing quite a lot of blue sky, actually. Looking towards the hairpin side of the circuit. So this, I think, will turn into a race of who gets the slicks on and who can make it work. And that will be probably with about something like 10 laps to go, I think. If it's anything like the start of this race, it's going to be very interesting. And then how much grip do the slicks have? Oh, Hamilton's getting very, very close to the back of that McLaren. So yeah, Leclerc about to go a lap down here. Crofty's going on about his point margin to Verstappen. Forget about it, mate. Honestly, don't worry about it. And there's Leclerc, lapped by a top 5, going into turn 1. So yeah, sucks for you. Sucks for you, Charles. Hate to say it. He had a good win in Monaco 2 weeks ago, which is lovely for him, but that's probably going to be the high point of his season. Ferrari look like they're kind of getting it together, but then you get days like today where it all falls apart, so you never quite know. No further investigation. Science Bottas, Ricardo. Stewards don't want to do anything today, I don't think. They got Ricky for a false start. That's about all. So, Verstappen, Russell, Norris, Piastri. I don't think I'm going to get that Piastri win after all. I think my balls were lying to me. I think McLaren, bless them, have totally missed the boat because Norris didn't get his pit in time, which is an awful shame for him. So, while we're going on the topic of wrong predictions, I'm going to say the Mavs will win in 7, and my boys, the Oilers, will win in 6. That's what I reckon. Oh, Checo past K-Mag. So, Sainz and Checo are both making absolutely fucking no progress from the back. It's a difficult track to overtake on this one. I mean, we've seen a few passes into the final chicane. That's kind of the only place you really can pass, especially on a day like today where there's a very, very narrow line in which to do anything. I mean, you see K-Mag get offline out of turn two there, and just the car has absolutely zero fucking grip. Even on pretty new inters, like the grip differential between online and offline is just pronounced. Look at that. It is hard to make a lot of progress on this track. Like it really is. I remember Science was what was it in 2022 when he was stuck right on the back of Max Verstappen, just clinging to his ass like a dingleberry, and just couldn't get the pass done, even though that car was clearly quicker at the end of that race, and Science was absolutely feeling it, and he was, had the DRS, and he was sort of having a look every single lap for the last, I think, 20 or so laps of the race. He just couldn't quite get it done. It's a difficult place to really nail a move here. Like that back straight isn't the longest on the calendar, and it's very narrow there, very, very narrow. Really, all you have to do is protect the inside, and then unless you can get the outside done into the chicane, you can't get it done at the chicane because the inside could always just squeeze you out. So here's Science fighting with Gasly, with Checo behind him. I tell you what, if you tell Gasly pre-season that he'll be fighting with Science and Checo, I think he would have gotten a very different idea of what his season would be. So, lap 39, Verstappen, Russell, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, Alonso, Tsunoda, Stroll, Albon, Ocon, Ricardo in 11th. That penalty has absolutely killed his race. It's killed it. Or should I say, the false start has killed his race. I mean, I love that he told Jacques Villeneuve to eat shit. Somebody who is an Indy 500 winner and an IndyCar champion and an F1 world champion. Okay, Russell just having a little bit of a talk with his engineers about track conditions. Oh, so Haas getting very, very sideways out of turn two. And what was I saying about Jacques Villeneuve? Oh yeah, Ricky told him to eat shit, and that is pretty funny. Like full marks for Daniel Ricciardo there, because Villeneuve, bless him, talks a whole lot of shit. A lot. And sometimes it's very funny, but a lot of the times it's just, what the fuck is this old man doing? So Verstappen's actually starting to really make a gap here now. 2.7 seconds now to Russell in second. Norris, Piastri are close behind. They just can't quite make any inroads to him. Hamilton's coming right up behind the McLarens as well. That's a lot of curb that Lewis Hamilton's just taken into that chicane. God, that car just flew. Fastest lap as well for Lewis Hamilton, so it's working. Curb bashing like it was a V8 supercar. It's absolutely working. Oh, fast hands there. So they really earn their money. And you can tell just how much they're earning their money today. Just the real quick corrections. Gasly pits. What is this? Is that dry tires? It looks like. Surely not. Surely not. I mean, look at it. It couldn't be slick tires yet. I mean, just you look at him. I mean, the track looks pretty dry, to be honest. Coming out of the pits, he's just driven through a fucking lake on those tyres, which won't help. And it's a yellow flag in turn 1, which I think is for Gasly. So I get the feeling as soon as he's tried to put down any power outside of turn 2, coming out of the pit lane, those wet tyres have just sent him right around. Now, is Hamilton going to take the bait? No, he won't. So none of the top 5 are coming into pit yet. Maybe Alonso or Stroll. Who could do this now? Maybe Ricciardo. It's worth... Oh, that's Norris going off. Oh, shit. So Norris has gone off, and he's gotten away with it because he's come back in 3rd. So he's gotten away with it. Piastri is right up on him, though. Oh, don't know about that. K-Mag in the pits. Okay, Haas about to pull another magical rabbit out the hat. K-Mag in the pits. Like, on track, it actually looks pretty okay for slicks. I mean, apart from a couple of areas, like under that bridge before turn 9, it looks like it's going to stay pretty wet there for a little while. Oh, there's not a lot of dry in turn 1 or 2, though. Like, there's a dry line going into the circuit, like into that part of the track, but actually in turn 1 and turn 2 looks very wet still. Looks awfully wet down there. That's what she said. The rest of the track looks pretty dry, though. Russell lost a lot of time from Norris avoiding action, 1.5 seconds. So, fuck off, George. Come on. George, I love you, but this sort of shit's got to stop. You fucking nerd. Absolute geek. Teacher. Fucking George Russell always does that. George, I love you. Big fucking fan, but Jesus Christ, you're infuriating sometimes. Leclerc, retire the car. Yep, there it goes. So that engine's not getting any better. And, yeah, that race isn't getting any better. I think he fell so far behind with that stop-start bit right at the end. I mean, why do it at the end of the safety car period? Whatever. No, but... So here we go. K-Mag on the mediums, Gasly on the hards. Bottas has just pitted on the mediums. I do wonder. I wonder, maybe it's probably a little bit too far for softs to make it to the end from here. But they might be the best bet in terms of getting a tyre up to speed or up to temperature quick. Hamilton pits. Okay, here we go. So this is the big one. This is the big one. If this works for Lewis, the rest of the top 4 are going to come in. Now, if anybody could get this done, I'd say it'd be Lewis Hamilton. He's got the deft touch in the wet. He's good at turning those tyres on. Oh, here we go. So he's put the mediums on. Ricciardo, Sainz, Perez all in the pits too, but nobody else in the top 10 has followed him in. That's surprising. I guess they're all being very conservative there. So Hamilton looks like he's come out in 8th-ish. Around Ocon. No, Ocon's past him as well. So is Albon. Hamilton out in 10th. As long as he doesn't get held up that bad, because that's the other thing that you got to look out for. Hamilton should be quick on those slicks. Oh, Norris really having a look at George Russell here. God, it's all starting to go off now. Here we fucking go. So the stewards are looking at Norris going off at turn 1, 2. No. Norris and Russell both going through. Neither of them pitting. Piastri is pitting though. Here we fucking go. Now, who's going to follow him in? Will it be Alonso, Tsunoda, Stroll? See, you want to be conservative when you're already running in the points, but you don't want to be too conservative and blow your chance here. Alonso and Tsunoda both in the pits. Stroll as well, so it'll be a double stack. And Ocon, it'll be a double stack at the Aston Martin pit lane. Oh, the Aston Martin pit box rather now. Hamilton 2.8 seconds behind, so it doesn't look like he's going to have a whole lot of traffic bothering him. Hamilton's totally lost it as well. Piastri's already out of turn 2 before Hamilton's into turn 1, so that didn't work for Lewis at all. Verstappen, box. Now, if you're Russell, if you're Norris, maybe it's worth... I'm not sure. See, this is where the strategists really start to make their money. Is it worth pitting Russell now, or do you leave him for one more extra lap? Oh. Everybody else has pitted, though. Norris is staying out! Oh, here we go. Oh, here we fucking go. This will be good. This will be good. This is either going to be genius or a total fucking disaster for Norris. No in between. Oh, baby, here we go. Oh, slow stop for Verstappen. Very, very, very slightly slow. Very slow stop for Russell, though. That didn't look good. Of course, we don't get the fucking times for whatever reason. Because the TV director is drunk as shit. Must have put money on the Oilers yesterday. Oh. It is very, very tentative. Very tentative through turn 1 and turn 2. So, now, keep an eye on the Norris and Verstappen gap here. It's about 20 seconds. I think Verstappen's going to have him covered. Oh, 20.3. Norris, at this point, just has to gun it. Forget about cooling the tyres or anything like that. Get every fucking thing that you can out of these tyres. Tear them to shreds. Just get the fuck rid of them because they're coming off at the end of this lap. Here he comes. Lando Norris. Oh. He's going to have to pit this lap, surely. He's going through. Oh, I don't know about this. Oh, I don't know about this. Oh, Norris is dancing right on the edge here. Proper tightrope shit. Right on the edge. What's he going to do with this gap? He can make up a lot of time in turn 1, 2. Everywhere else, Verstappen's going to be getting a little bit of time on him. He looks like he's just creeping that gap up, though. 20.8 seconds. But you don't want to do it too late. If you even half a lap, this is such a fine margin, even half a lap too long out of the pits, and you'll totally fuck it up. Oh, God, this is so much fun. You know, interestingly, just looking down the rest, it didn't look like there was a really big shuffle with the pit stops. It looks like everyone was basically as you were. Here we go, Norris boxes lap. 21.5 seconds. I think that might be enough. Now it all comes down to the pit stop. 21.1 seconds. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. You don't want to leave it too late. Even half a lap. Even half a lap will mean too late. 21.1 seconds. Oh, 20.9. See, it's right. He was balancing right on the edge anyway. So here we go. Norris in the pits. It looks pretty... so Norris is in the pits. It looked pretty conservative coming into the pits. I guess he just doesn't want to get like a speeding in pit lane penalty. Here we go. Now it has to be absolutely ace from the mechanics. It looks pretty okay. I don't think it's the quickest pit stop ever, but it wasn't bad. Verstappen on the front straight. I think Verstappen's going to get him. Verstappen, oh, it's going to be very, very close. Lando, oh, but it's slow out the pits. Very slow. Verstappen's got him. Oh, wow. That was it. Ah, that's so bloody close. Norris, second place. Not third anymore, second place. So he actually has gained a position there. So well done, Lando. That was brilliant. And it almost worked for the lead. 3.3 seconds now, Norris to Verstappen. But crucially, 22 laps to go after this one. 22 more laps. Oh, I don't know. I mean, Norris has done it before. He's already passed Verstappen today. Ricardo's dropping down the order. What's going on here? Please tell me that's a mistiming line. Yes, it is. Back up to 12. You just exist in pain as a Ricardo fan at this point. So Norris keeping Russell behind. Piastri right behind him as well. 4 seconds to Verstappen. That McLaren looks quick though. Oh, Norris is being a little bit cheeky. Is that weaving? I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It's not like he was going back and forth, just one over and then one back. I think if he starts doing that two or more times, maybe it's Verstappen rides very bad. It's a lock suspension again, so he's not happy with the car. Really not happy with the car. He's been complaining about that car an awful lot for somebody who's won 5 races with it. So this is Norris, a replay coming out of the pits, and you can see just how wet it still is out of the pit lane. Just on that little bit of rejoin tarmac, because there's not a whole lot of traffic going along that part of the circuit, so it's just going to stay very wet for very long. But the thing is, oh, yellow flag. What is this about? Green flag. Okay, so nothing really. Oh, Norris very wide in the hairpin, just cuts back across Russell. Russell's probably going to have a decent run at him here. Now, if Norris is... Oh, that's a very good run that Russell's got on him. He's going to pass him, or... Yeah, he is going to pass him. I was about to say, it's crucial. If Norris is going to win this race, it's crucial that he stays ahead of Russell. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. God, look at the bump in turn 1. Those cars absolutely eating shit along the apex there. It's like the fucking old Houston IndyCar race. Verstappen can't touch any curbs. It almost knocks me out. So what was this? Norris smashing his lower back? Fucking Max definitely is then. So 4.2 seconds of Verstappen to Russell, and then Norris less than a second behind. Piastri almost 2 seconds behind Norris in 4th, and then Hamilton further down the road in 5th. And then Alonso almost a pit stop back in 6th. Tsunoda, Stroll, Ocon, Albon, Sainz, all very, very close together. Then Ricciardo 3.5 seconds behind. Then Perez with Ricciardo right in front of him. So you've got it's like two real trains forming here. One behind Alonso and the other behind Ricciardo. So just replay of Norris going deeper into that hairpin. I think that might be the race losing move, to be honest. That's if he can make enough time to catch back up to Max. I said Jos Verstappen to Max Verstappen. Remember, what was it, 24 years ago, Jos Verstappen had a very good race here in his arrows. Had a great race as well. Did he get points that day? I want to say that he finished like 6th. I remember him having a good race. Oh, that's Russell going off at turn 10. Norris is right by him again, so George Russell for the 2nd year in a row has fucked up that corner. Oh, wow. Russell's going to have a whole lot of shit all over his tyres too. Like a public toilet in Richmond, there's shit all over there. Oh, Russell's coming right back on Norris though. Five and a half seconds now, Verstappen, Norris in 2nd. Oh, I don't know. I think it might be a focus, George, focus, says Russell. Focus, not fuckers. It's a very different message for George Russell there. So what is this? Just, yeah, a little bit of a moment on the way into turn 9. This goes through turn 10 way too quick. Well, it's a real shame that is. Oh, he's fucking absolutely clobbered that curb as well in turn 10. You're having fun over there. You're missing a great race, buddy. Stroll's just gotten past Sonoda as well. Yellow flag. What is this? Perez has dropped a position. Albon has dropped a position. So what in the world's going on back there? And green flag again. Okay, so something just happened back there. We've had 3 passes. Oh, Perez down 2 more. Now is that... He's got no rear wing. What in the fuck? Checo, buddy, what are you doing? Fucking hell. Checo's just mashed his ass. Well, I mean, 2 more years. 2 more years at Red Bull Racing. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I think that he won't challenge Verstappen, which is great for Verstappen. I'm pretty sure that's what Horner had in mind when he wanted Checo to stay. It's a bit like Bottas and Hamilton. So Checo getting back into pit lane here. Yellow flag in sector 2. That'd have to be for No! That's Albon. Albon and Sainz have come together. What the fuck is going on? Sainz spinning on slick tyres on the wet grass. There's no grip out there. Sainz's rear wing is also fucked. Fucking hell, it's all going off. Sainz channeling his old man's rally skills there. Looks like Albon's done. Albon's done. Oh, that Sauber's just gone off as well. I think maybe trying to avoid all of this. Safety car. Here we go. Safety car, lap 54. What the fuck has happened? The last couple of laps have been insane. Look at the shit all over that Williams as well. That is some filthy ass rain. So Checo's out. Sainz will probably be out because there's a lot of damage on the rear wing. Albon's out. We just lost 3 cars in like a lap. Yeah, Albon climbs out. It's over. So that's it. A double DNF for Williams there. It looks like a double DNF for Ferrari as well. So here we go. What is this? Looks like Checo spun. Yep. Checo spins at turn 6. Just, it looks like he had about a wheel-ish offline on the wet, which doesn't work with slick tyres, and he's just backed it into the wall. Yeah. Yeah, what can you do? Clumsy, silly shit. So 2 more years of that. Again, like, I shit on the guy a lot. I love him. I really do love Checo. I've been a big fan of his for forever, but 2 years of that, fuck, I don't know. Looks like Sainz has a spin, and he's just going to come back across the track and collect Albon. So, yeah, that's a big hit for Albon, actually. Again, same corner, coming out of turn 5 into turn 6. So, looks like just a little bit too much curb, maybe. Yeah. So the back end has just come around on Carlos Sainz. Looks like Russell's just pitted. Hamilton's just pitted too. I mean, it's a safety car. You may as well. Russell has gone from 3rd to 4th though, so I don't know about this. Nah. That's the universal symbol for cut the engine from the mechanic there. So, Sainz in the garage, nothing left to do today but to find a fucking a playboy and go have a pull. So this is going to be interesting now. Verstappen. Oh, look at those rain clouds as well behind the circuit. Now I don't think they are going to come into it. That's a big dark cloud though. I think that is the direction the rain is heading though. I don't think the rain is coming from the direction of those clouds. I think it's going that way. So I don't think it's going to rain for the rest of the race. I say that based on absolutely nothing apart from that one of the teams, I forget who, said that there was going to be no more rain for the rest of the race. So, yes. I know it's very exciting, isn't it? So, another replay of science. So, it looks like what happened? Maybe a little bit of aero wash and a little bit of wet curbs. It's a real shame for Albon. He just kind of had nowhere to go there. That happens sometimes. You know, you do everything right and then somebody fucks up in front of you and it just wrecks your race. There's nothing you can do about that. What are you doing? Hmm? Somebody's very excited over here. God, that is, yeah, that is bad luck for Albon. Real bad luck. Yeah. I mean, oh, that's actually a lucky escape for Ricardo as well. And looks like Gasly are up behind him. Because they almost ended up right in the scene of that crash. So the Mercedes are going to be very interesting to watch here. K-Mag and Joe as well, because they are all going to be on brand new tyres. Everybody else... I mean, Norris has the youngest tyres. Apart from them, they are 8 laps old, so we'll see. You know, they're not the oldest things in the world, but not as brand spanking new as what Mercedes boots are looking. So McLaren telling Norris that can't rule out the weather, but it doesn't look like anything's coming. Fair enough. Let's quietly ask them. Okay, so here we go. Lap 56 of 70. Under safety car. That'll be running for another lap. We've got Verstappen, Norris, Piastri. Then Russell, Hamilton, Alonso, Stroll, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricardo back at the points. Hey, how about that? That's the top 10. Then Gasly, Hulkenberg, Bottas, K-Mag, and Zhou Guanyu. And that's it. Haas, great start to the race. Completely fell apart. Hasn't recovered. Sauber, bad car, bad race. Probably won't recover. What's going on back there? You know, it's interesting how a cat will choose to go crazy at about 5 between 5 and 6 in the morning. Never any other time but then, huh? Either way, Verstappen still leading. Good. It's good for him. He's had a good race. Come on. I know. I know. There's nowhere for you to go up there, mate. So Norris, Piastri. I'm not sure if McLaren can really be that disappointed with second and third today. I think they just haven't had the luck to really pull off a win here. They've had the speed, and they've got 13 or so laps to go after the safety car ends. As Joe is unlapping himself now. He's the only car a lap down as well, so this will be it. Light's still on the safety car, so I'd assume that we're going to keep at least one more lap. We're going to keep at least another lap behind the safety car. Russell, a bit of a messy race. Although here we go, if he can make this work, and I don't know if there's going to be enough of a tyre differential to make it that magic bullet, if you know what I'm saying, but we'll see what they can do. Russell and Hamilton, the one thing they can't do is just start fighting with each other, which they could do. They've done it before in the past. They did it at Suzuka last year. There was, I think, Miami last year. And wasn't, I think, Jeddah? Was that 2022 maybe? Or maybe it was last year. I can't remember which. But it looked like Hamilton had a go with a late restart. He could have maybe potentially got a podium, but Russell blocked him off from that. So we'll see what the Mercedes do. They're a very interesting dynamic, actually, Russell and Hamilton. Hamilton's leaving. Russell doesn't owe him anything. It's a shame they're never going to fight for a championship. Because that would have been very interesting. Alonso, Stroll, 6th and 7th. Great day out so far for Aston Martin. Tsunoda, 8th. Another good day for Yuki. And he'll be rewarded with another year in the Cash App RB car. Should be his 5th season, which I think will make him the longest serving at that team. God, maybe ever. I'm not sure like anybody even stayed in Minardi that long. What do you think? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? You have no idea, do you? Actually, I have no idea either. My head says Verstappen. I mean, he's leading already. Norris is right behind, though. We'll have to see what those Mercedes can do. And then just behind all of this funny business, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Bottas, K-Mag. That'll be interesting. I think Joe will be too far behind unless we get another safety car. I think he's going to be too far behind to do anything from back there. It looks like he's still trying to catch up. Where is he? Joe is just entering the hairpin and these guys are just about to exit the chicane to restart. Here we go. Max Verstappen restarts. It looks like he's gotten a pretty decent jump on the field there. Everyone looks pretty much as you were there. Looks like nobody's really gotten the jump on anyone. So that's that then. That's the that's the restart then. Alright, cool. So 11 laps to go. God, Verstappen's really put the hammer down now. 1.4, 1.7 seconds to Norris now. We'll have to see, because you remember Norris really caught him up in Imola? And maybe was a lap or two away from getting that done. So we'll have to see what he can do here. Now, I don't think those Mercedes have the pure pace. They don't have the pure race pace to do anything about those McLarens. Even with the tyre differential. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll surprise us. It's a brand new track, which means it's very smooth, which means it's very... it's not that harsh on tyres. Perez unsafe condition investigation after the race. Okay, so that's because he drove back to the pits rather than park his car with that damaged rear end. So what would that be? Maybe a reprimand? I mean, if his car had a shat out everything out the back all over the track, I think he probably would pick up a grid drop or something for the next race, but it looked like it kept itself pretty well together, so maybe just a reprimand, a talking to, and a pants down spanking from the stewards. He'll get away with just that. Loving this camera as well. George Russell in helmet. It's fascinating. It's so bumpy, but when you see these cameras edited so that it's more like what the human eye sees, in that it will It's a bit different from a camera in it. Like, it doesn't shake around like that. It just keeps steady while everything else moves around it. It's a very interesting view. Very, very interesting. What is this? A replay of K-Mag getting it really wrong at turn 9 and 10. Oh, goodness. Investigation for dragging around a fuck car at the circuit. Gilles Villeneuve is ironic. It is ironic, isn't it? One of Gilles' most iconic fucking... One of his most iconic moments. Bringing a two-wheeled Ferrari at full speed back to the pits. It's a shame every season we stray further away from fun. No, it looks like there's a little bit of rain on the way behind the circuit, but I don't think that'll make a difference. I don't think that's going to hit until everybody's halfway through packing up. Ocon by Sonoda. Ocon's having a very decent race for somebody who started dead last. Well, but for the Saubers who started from pit lane. A very, very decent race. So, actually, Ocon's an interesting one. If he's not staying at Alpine, and he was going to be replaced for this round, they were going to sit him out, from what I've heard. Bruno Famin, the head cheese of the Alpine F1 team, was absolutely intent on sitting Ocon out for this weekend. So Gasly, Hulkenberg, no further investigation. Who cares? Neither of them are the points. Who gives a fuck? He was absolutely intent on sitting Ocon out of the car as Russell has a look at the Mercedes, at the McLaren, at the hairpin, just doesn't get it done. Well, it was worth a look. Oh, Russell is absolutely on it, so fuck, those tyres are starting to really work now. Oh, but this is it. All Piastri has to do is just hold the inside, and this is how hard it is to pass at this track. All you really have, if you can hang side by side down the back straight, all you need is the inside line into that chicane, and then you generally have it sorted. What was I saying? Ocon, yeah. Femi was going to rest him for this race and was going to put Jack Doohan in the car. Instead, Jack Doohan ended up getting the P1 instead. FP1 rather. In which he got 2 fucking laps. 2 install laps. Because of the rain, so, that's a shame. Doohan will be back for more FP1s through this season. Not sure exactly when that will be, but probably further along the season, especially if they're not keeping Ocon, and they are testing Jack Doohan in a 2-year-old Alpine. He's having a bit of the Kimi Antonelli experience this year of just doing testing programs in an old F1 car, potentially to get him in that seat for next season. So the Alpine seat opens up. I've heard Jack Doohan. I've heard Mick Schumacher maybe. Russell, side by side, that's not going to work. Oh, is Russell... Has Russell got... No, I don't think it's a puncture. I think it's just wet tyres. Fucking hell, so Russell did go for it just then. This didn't work. Piastri absolutely just keeping, like I said, just keeping firm. You keep that inside line, you could squeeze anybody out. And it's about... It's not blocking, but it's about as close as you can get to a block at this track. If you keep that line into that corner, you cannot get by. So here's a replay. Russell, to be fair, I suck cocks to him. I don't think he's really done anything wrong there, and he is ahead. Now, I think that's hard racing. I don't think it's dirty racing. I do wonder what the stewards might think of that, though. They might have a different view of it. Either way, Russell is now behind Hamilton in fifth, so was leading the race quite comfortably to start with. Looks like he's going to end up fifth after all is said and done. Either way, the Alpine seat, which isn't a great seat right now, but you never know what Alpine's going to throw up. It'll probably be shit, but you never know. It's still a seat in Formula One, which means it's still going to be coveted by almost anybody who isn't Ocon or ahead of them. Could be Doohan, could be Mick Schumacher, could be Victor Martin. You're allowed to fight Yuki. Message to Ricardo. What, like, out of the car? I hope Ricardo, like, doesn't misinterpret that message and just gets out the car and kicks the shit out of poor Yuki. Couldn't imagine him doing that. I couldn't imagine Ricardo in a fucking fist fight at all, to be honest. Either way, there's a few names linked to that seat. Bottas is another one, which would be interesting. And as far as where Ocon's going, I think if Sainz goes to Audi, Ocon goes to Williams, Hamilton past Piastri. There we go. And that, okay, Russell Piastri under investigation now as Hamilton gets by, and he looks like he's going to get a podium. Fastest lap as well for Lewis Hamilton. He's always been handy at this track, always been very, very quick. George Russell is going to be absolutely incensed by Oscar Piastri as well. Absolutely incensed. I think that might have been really on the limit of what is acceptable racecraft by Oscar Piastri. I mean, at some point you have to concede. If you've been beaten, you have to concede the corner. You can't just barrel fucking through it. I don't know. Maybe it's just like if I saw that sort of shit in supercars or an IndyCar or something, I'd be like, oh, well done. But in F1, I don't know, just something about it seems a little bit uncouth. Either way, if I'm George Russell, I just throw it down the inside of Piastri and just fucking pull out of this one, asshole. You know, that kind of stuff. Tsunoda's dropping down. Now, is that a mistiming line? Yellow flag. I think Tsunoda might have gone off. Russell, here we go. Now he's ahead. So Russell does get ahead of Piastri. So Piastri down to fifth. Tsunoda has stopped. Oh, no, Tsunoda's going on again. His little dot on the track map was just sitting there for a while. So what the fuck happened to Tsunoda then? Off on the grass, and I'm guessing he spun it around. Yep. Oh, it just about takes off the Haas. So, not a good race for the two guys Red Bull have confirmed as staying for next year. Ah, that's a real shame for Yuki. That's so close from the Haas. Jesus. That's real fucking close for the Haas. Oh, who was that? Hulkenberg just got away with that. I mean, my God. It doesn't get much closer than that. Not without massive contact. Here we go. 3 laps to go. George Russell v Lewis Hamilton. Now, this is for a podium position now, so this will be a whole lot of fun. Now, how hard are Mercedes going to fight this? I think Lewis is going to want the podium. Russell definitely wants the podium. Mercedes just wants the points. Ricciardo's just passed Ocon. Now Gasly is half a second behind Ocon. Now, what does Gasly think? Does he think maybe I just go for it like you did last week, you bastard? Okay, so Norris and McLaren want a safety car. They're not feeling that comfortable ahead of the Mercedes with 3 laps to go. I mean, it's off the racing line. It's a fucking foam bollard and it's off the racing line, but I don't know. I would have thought there's a big window between Joe and Verstappen, there is a very decent sized window of about 20 plus seconds where somebody could go out and pick that shit up. Or Russell at the inside of Lewis Hamilton into the chicane gets it done. Good pass. Very good pass. Oh, Hamilton's coming back at him. Not going to be able to do it. Russell keeps it. Russell exits turn 1, exits turn 2 in the lead. Oh, God, that could have ended really all in tears for Mercedes there. So Russell, again, DRS, goes for the inside, so he's learnt that lesson. Yeah, good work. Good work, George Russell. Lewis Hamilton, top stuff as well for playing along there. No point getting involved in anything fucking stupid. Just bring it home. Now, what is this? A replay? It looks like Verstappen just getting very close to the wall, but no problem, really. I think he's all in control there. So Norris has 1.6 seconds. Gasly's just gotten past Ocon as well. So Ocon looks like it'll be 10th after all. But Hulkenberg's right on the back of Ocon as well. Looks like there's some mad action going on back there and we're not seeing fucking any of it. I mean, there's just a lot going on this race now. The Haas's are right together. Right behind Ocon, who is right behind Gasly. Fun stuff. So final lap, here we go. That's actually really snuck up. Verstappen, Norris, Russell 1.4 seconds. I don't think he's going to get him. Not unless it's into the final corner, and even then, he's really got to hurry it up. So Verstappen, Norris, Russell, Hamilton, Piastri, who fell right. I'd say that he's copped a bit of damage from that little collision with Russell. So Piastri further back in 5th, then Alonso, Stroll, Ricciardo, Gasly, Ocon, Hulkenberg, K-Mag. That looks like your top 12 is sorted because Bottas is quite a bit further back. Tsunoda's even further back than he is. And Joe is a lap behind. Yeah, I think this is it. I think this is how it's going to finish. Verstappen out of the final corner. Very close to the wall again. Doesn't even matter. Verstappen is going to win. Nailed it. And, yep, that's how it finishes. Verstappen, Norris, Russell. Fastest lap of the final lap for Lewis Hamilton in 4th. Piastri 5th. It's like Alonso and Stroll will be 6th and 7th. That's a great result for Aston Martin. It's their best result of the year, I think. Oh, look at these Alpines and the Haas's right close together. Ricciardo 8th, so great result for him. Gasly 9th, Ocon 10th, then Hulk and Magnussen 11th and 12th. So, 11th and 12th for Haas. I mean, it promised a whole lot more. I mean, I always figured once the track dries out, that car would go backwards, but 11th and 12th is going to be it's going to be difficult for Haas to swallow that. Like an extra big load. That's it. Fuck. Good work. So Max Verstappen wins after all. And again, just like Imola, Max Verstappen wins, but it didn't look nailed on. It really didn't. You never get the sense that he's just commanding these races like he did before, like he did even as like Suzuka or even China earlier this season. You know, he's really having to work for it now. I don't think the bits that they put on that Red Bull have improved it, and I think the bits they put on the Ferraris, which didn't fucking matter today, the Mercedes, which mattered, we'll see if Mercedes can keep that up for the rest of the season. I get the feeling it might be a bit circuit specific. I think they aren't even sure themselves exactly what's going on with this car, and the McLaren definitely is going to be a big factor for the rest of the year, a really big factor. I don't think they have it in them to turn this into a championship run. Maybe for the teams, although they're quite far behind, but I mean, Verstappen's just won again. I think his world championship is basically safe. So Russell, a couple of mistakes out of Russell today. Maybe it could have been more. Definitely could have been second. He had the pace at the end. I don't know if he had the pace to beat the Red Bull, but he did have a lot of pace at the end. Lance Stroll, points, seventh in his home race, so good work, Lance. So yeah, good work, Aston Martins. All right, as Verstappen goes to park for May, fist pumping on top of the car, good stuff. Love to see it. Good work, Max. Another great win. It's one of the signs of a very good driver, of a truly elite driver, is when they win races that you wouldn't expect them to win. Now, it seems weird saying that about Max Verstappen this season. But as good as Norris was, and as good as Russell was today, mistakes aside, for the both of them, they never looked nailed on that Max Verstappen was going to win this. But he won it. He won it, and fair play to him. This is where he earns his massive salary, and this is where the truly elite stand ahead of just the merely very good. I mean, you see guys like Lewis Hamilton, or further in the past, Fernando Alonso has done it as well. It's when you start winning races that you shouldn't. That's when you really start to plural as well, races that you shouldn't. That's when it really starts to become elite talent. So Norris doesn't look that bothered, actually. He actually looks pretty stoked. Well, he looks relatively content, shall we say, with second place. So, cool. After all of that, what are we going to say? That was a fun race. Nice changeable conditions. We're never really sure what the winner was going to be. I mean, it seems weird saying that again because Max Verstappen won, but we were never absolutely certain that it was going to happen, especially at the start. I was never absolutely certain that Russell could bring it home, but he did well. He did very well, third in the end. A couple of mistakes out of him, a couple of mistakes out of Norris. Verstappen, I can't remember making a mistake, not anything major. He did great. He did great. Yeah, Hamilton, Piat. I think Max is really the only one of the top five who didn't have like a major moment in that race. Alonso Stroll, great for Aston Martin. That's very, very good for them. Ricky 8th, brilliant again. I think he's going to run through the paddock now to find Jacques Villeneuve, slap him on his bald head. And Gasly and Ocon 9th and 10th, so great points for Alpine. Horrible fucking day for Ferrari. Really, really poor. Bad day for Checo. It was a bad moment at the end for Tsunoda. It's a shame because that one moment has totally fucked his race. So late in the race as well because he was really nailed on for a decent point finish. So, you know. Like, you might say this is why he doesn't get the Red Bull seat, but then you look at where Checo did and it's like, well, you know, what's the fucking difference? Whatever. Bad day for Williams as well. Yeah. Real shame for them. I don't think either of those hits were chassis destroyers, but I'm pretty sure they've got all their spare parts sorted now, so shouldn't be that bad anyway. A few interviews in the park for me now. So I think, what is it? Dickhead o'clock. Yes, it's very late. This might be actually a good time to leave this. It was a fun race. 4 out of 5, I think. 4 out of 5. Very fun. Very enjoyable. Lots of questions. Just the right amount of chaos. Didn't turn into a farce. It was nice. It was good. It was a good, enjoyable race, a good, comfy race, a decent Canadian Grand Prix. Um, it's been the best one of these for a while, I think, maybe since 2014, because there's been a couple of real stinkers here at this track lately, but this is a very good race. Yeah, good result for Ricardo, so I'm happy about that. Good result. Um, yeah, good result for F1. It was a good race. Anyway, I'm just waffling on now. Thank you very much for joining me. Watching this. I'll be a bit higher energy, I think, for the next race, which is where's the next? Where are we off to next? Austria, I think. June. I think it might be Austria next. I gotta double check that. I think it might be Austria next. I'm pretty sure it's in 2 weeks' time. Either way, whenever it is, wherever it is, I will be here, sitting in this chair, watching it, talking absolute bollocks on a webcam to whoever is unlucky enough to click on this. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for keeping me company. Thanks for the questions, of course. If you got anything you want to say, any questions, any comments, or if you just want to flat out talk shit, throw it in. It's all good. Zach Brown's new tattoo. God, imagine getting the Miami track tattooed on you. Fuck me dead. God, you talk about like bad tattoos. The track is fucking ass. I mean, nice sentimental shit because that is Lando's first win, but fuck it. At least Monza is an iconic track that he got tattooed on his other arm. Miami, like, bleh, fucking Christ. Jesus, it's like having the Valencia street track tattooed on you. Like, why? You might be the only one in the world with it. Get a dolphin. Miami Dolphins, you know what I mean? Get something like that. Get the fucking Dolphins logo. Actually, who does Zach Brown like in the football? It's probably the Raiders. Or the Chargers. Or the Rams. Who cares? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll be here next race talking shit into the void, so come join me if you'd like. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you again very soon. Ta-ta for now. See you then.